All right. So welcome everyone. And for those of you who have not had the opportunity to meet Mynoo, she's usually coming from Mumbai direct to us, but you're in Delhi. Is that correct, Mynoo?
Yes, just in a place outside Delhi called Gurgaon. So it's like all a part of that whole Delhi province.
Lovely. I've been to Delhi a few times on my way to journeys and various. I used to be in the fashion industry and I always loved it, but I could always tell when the plane had landed and I was in Delhi, there was just something about it. And it's probably different now. They probably cleaned up the air and I'm sure it's a very different place.
Yeah, it's interesting. The next 2 weeks would be interesting because the air quality goes down very rapidly because of fireworks as well as burning of um, you know crops, like the husks and stuff in the villages outside. And this is the time that they do it. They've completed the harvest season before the winter begins. So it'll be interesting to see what occurs this time around.
Now, is this part of a celebration that's done or is it just part of the work that needs to be done?
I think the burning of the husk is just a practice that farmers follow. It's not a celebration, but the Festival of Lights, Diwali, is. So they've pretty much banned, having certain grades of fireworks now. But I haven't been in Delhi for the last couple of years during this time, so it'll be interesting to see.
I find that I'm becoming more and more just like nervous around loud noises. And I'm wondering if that has something to do with this new world and the recalibration that's happening.
I think it's just that our pretty much every organ of ours, and we've been working through these organs, up leveling them to match the attunement of the planet. Everything is becoming very, very acute. So our sensory organs are also very acute. Your sense of smell, the colors that you are seeing, all of those are way more, they're like way more vibrant than they used to be. And that's just what is happening. So yes, you smell deeper and you taste the different flavors and you hear loud noises.
It's funny that you say that, Mynoo. Yesterday, and I kid you not, I took a picture, 6 ladybugs flew into my hand. And I used to manifest the most amazing things when I was in Maui. And I was like, I'm in the 5th dimension for sure. But now I've got to go back to LA. So I'm going to go back to like reality, which reality is the 5th dimension. I'm like, oh my goodness. I open my hand and there's ladybugs. So I don't know exactly what's going on. I guess the unknown is the known, but it is absolutely magnificent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And welcome everyone who is joining us on Zoom. Hi, Linda, Lee, Joanne, Vince. We've got our tribe here, Helene and Sean and Jill, Tokes and Kathleen and Connie and Kathy Tracy, and the list goes on. And I know I've missed many, Mary Catherine. So it's so great to have you all here. And we're in for a treat tonight because Mynoo is going to take us through the 7th commandment, which is a switch from alignment to flow to coherence. I love that word, coherence. So I am going to turn it back over to you, Mynoo, without further ado.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. Well, what I've been very present to is, and I talked a little bit about that yesterday when we did the Beyond meditation. It was yesterday for us, and for those of you in the US, it was this morning. What I've become very present to is it's almost like we are waking up to, it's a new dawn. Literally every 3 days is like a new dawn, just because the environment, the world around us, the energies on the planet are shifting and changing so fast. And what is causing that shift and change to occur? And we are all making a contribution to that, by the way, as so many of you here are participating in the Beyond meditation, and several of you here are on your journey into miracles and, up-leveling yourself at every level. We are all making a very big contribution. And the contribution that we are making is, as we step into and connect to our own innate vibe, we are actually emanating that as a vibration outside of us. And that is what is getting allowing for new energies that have already landed on the planet to be absorbed and spread across the planet. So there is, it literally now is like a countdown time going to the end of the 2020 energies. And do you remember I talked about the 2020 energies are very rapid, very rampant. They have a multiplier effect like nothing we have experienced before. And then a few weeks ago, but before we began the 10 Commandments, I talked about that multiplier effect of 2020 has been further accentuated, and it's like 100x multiplier applied to the already very powerful 2020 multiplier energies. Now we are getting to the countdown of that phase now, and lots is yet to remain. Lots still remains to be recalibrated. Lots still remains to be up-leveled and brought into attunement. And every week that we focus our attention on one of the commandments, as each one of us goes deeper into our understanding of it, and every session is so practical, so pragmatic. You know, if you literally just took this and started implementing it, it's as rich as what the Course of Miracles used to be. It can take you several months. The key thing here is to start the journey. So, and we are all playing our part, because as each one of us starts our journey, we up-level ourselves, and anything and anyone that is connected to us also gets up-leveled. We step into a lightness of being within ourselves. We can then, experience and allow for new energies to get activated on the planet. And these are all energies that are anchoring each of the commandments. So you saw when we began, from unknown is the known. Even getting to understand that okay, unknown is the known. So rather than feeling overwhelmed about it, what if we just engaged with unknown is the known outside of us? In the realm of this environment, what is it that we do know? Each commandment of this kind literally brought you closer to yourself. What you do know is you. What you do know is how you feel and where what you are actually experiencing for real. There were many practical steps that were shared there, and then we went into uncertainty certain. my partner in how the whole miracles body of work is being brought out into the world is Gaurav Gupta, who you probably have all met, several of you have met, and many of you have seen online. His innate vibe is certainty. And he's heard me talk about uncertainty certain for a long time. And it's only when we did it as a commandment, the realization that, okay, I'm standing on what looks like solid ground, but actually, at a foundational level, uncertainty is certain. So once he accepted that, okay, uncertainty is what's certain, I don't have to be stopped in my tracks if I don't understand something. And I don't have to get too attached to a prescribed way of doing something, because things might change. And that gave a freedom that is allowing us to unleash what I will be announcing in the next few weeks. We then had change is constant, which is something that we've all been experiencing from the time that the technology revolution began. The change is constant has been constantly going. And in that environment, you got to see, how do you maintain some form of semblance if change is constant? All of this brings us back to us. What it does is it literally takes away the desire for validation to be delivered by someone outside of us or something outside of us. Because whatever may be delivering you validation or recognition can be taken out just like that. And then we went into the realm of that there is only one modus operandi in this realm, and we just take nothing for granted. And that, I mean, like each one just takes you deeper and deeper and deeper and closer to the core of who you are. I mean, it's destabilizing enough under normal circumstances to experience unknown as the known or uncertainty certain and constantly be facing this change. To top it all, take nothing for granted, and that is the modus operandi. But just imagine, when you take nothing for granted, it brings you into presence like nothing else. Because you are present. And initially you may be present to the person you're talking to the work you're engaged in. But every time you do that, you become present to you. It also is such a wonderful accelerator because it accelerates you being so connected to what it is that you truly want. And since all of this realm of uncertainty is going on and change is constant, if there is something that I do desire and you become more in tune with you, this fluffiness starts to disappear. And you literally, it's like a laser beam shines on what it is that you truly desire. And you go out there and start delivering on it. Now, then we went into a set of commandments, which is where we are right now, which I call as switch commandments. Right? We went into the commandment about switching from survival to thriving. So when you recognize, aha, this is what I desire, and you go out there to fulfill your desires, you become very present to the commandment that it's about thriving. So when you go out there to seek something for yourself, your decisions and choices, if they come from a thriving instinct, survival is taken care of. And you automatically go into being in tune with the energies of this time, which are collaborative co-creation of coexistence. And as you step into that experience of getting into the rhythm of developing and further sharpening your thriving instinct, we went into the sixth commandment, which was another switch from sustainable to regenerative. Sustainable itself was a big leap. Regenerative is what takes you away from fixing things. And one can give. We've all heard lectures about stop making decisions that are like a patchwork. Well, stop fixing things. Go for something deeper than that, more meaningful. Well, all of that is great, but people may do it, may then work really, really hard to make it sustainable. But what if every action you took, you took it with that conscious awareness to make it regenerative? In the choice of your action, you're choosing thriving. And before you take action, the way you go about doing it, you make it regenerative. So you don't have to go back to it again. It regenerates itself. It literally starts to expand our own capacities of the difference we can make. And everything, for me, this is the most exciting part. Everything's beginning with you because you're beginning by making a difference to you. And that's what's enabling the difference to occur all around you. And it multiplies that way. And today we are on another switch category of commandment. And this one is about switching from alignment to flow to coherence. Those of us who have been in the business world, or well, actually it applies to everyone, but certainly in business, there's so much talk about, aligning your team, aligning to the core values of the business, aligning to what the core strength is of the business. And even at home, it's about, let's all get aligned behind this, and then we keep looking at, there's a generation gap here. Let's try and get some alignment there. We've been talking about alignment, and alignment is good. It has served us up to now. So in my world, there is nothing right or wrong. It just is. And I have spent a lot of time, dealing with rights and wrongs during my corporate life. And now it's like just pontification. It's so much easier to just be. And again, I don't see that there's anything wrong if somebody wants to engage in their own evaluation of things being right and wrong. Now, alignment it's a mental thing, and there's a lot of doing involved in it. You start doing alignment. There are practices, there are techniques, there's lots of stuff like that. And all of that is good. It's a great starting point to even invoke the desire to come from a space of alignment. That in itself puts you on the track of switching from command and control, to actually collaboratively co-creating. So alignment is good. Once the alignment is achieved, then what? To maintain it, you keep doing alignment. And that's where it can get exhausting. So I always say in all of these sessions, there are some practical tools that come through for you to use. How do you know that you're in alignment? There is like an adrenaline. There's an adrenaline rush that happens when you are in alignment. It takes quite a bit of energy. There's a vital life force that is in action, and it's being expended when you're in alignment. It feels like fun. It feels like you're with people who are, of the same wavelength as you. And it feels good. There is a nice humming. There's a nice yumminess, and there is there's like an insatiable desire to hold on to that yumminess. So you keep doing more of what you have done to keep that alignment going. So there's the positive side, and the other side, the shadow side of alignment, is you're always on a vigil. Just in case someone goes out of alignment, or something occurs that might take you out of alignment. You're on a vigil. So what that does is it gets you to start becoming protective. And sometimes that protectiveness which creates attachment to the person, to a situation, to a team, to the way things are occurring. And that attachment very fast, catapults and can get into codependence if there are individuals involved. And alignment, of course, just starts to disappear. But there's a lot of doing and vigilance and, have to, should do, must do, need to, starts to creep in. Now, step one to getting to coherence is alignment. But you just need to know exactly when to switch into flow. So alignment gets you to become attached and sort of possessive about the team that you're a part of, or about the way you're doing certain things, about the way others are doing certain things. You know, it creates that little bit of possessiveness. So how do you know when to switch from alignment to flow? Is when that yumminess of alignment and that, you know, feeling great and being in this great space starts to shift to a little bit of frenzy setting in, and the yumminess starts to become a little bit yucky, slightly yucky. The full extent of yuckiness isn't quite there. You know, it is time to switch. Its alignment has overstayed its welcome. Alignment very naturally. You don't have to stay in each of these states for a long time. You know, you're in alignment, you can switch to flow, you can switch to coherence. The key thing is when you're in alignment, you have to keep working it to remain aligned. When you get into flow, there is a lightness of being. In alignment, you don't experience lightness of being. You do experience joy. You do experience, you know, the adrenaline rush. You do experience, you know, vital life force. The lightness of being comes in when you're in flow. Now, in alignment, if something untoward takes place, which you weren't expecting, you had planned something and it was going to occur in a certain way, everybody was aligned to it, it was all happening, and then something occurs and you're out of alignment, it literally throws you out big time. You know, a recent situation that's occurring in Europe, complete lockdown. Well, we knew the second wave was going to be there. We knew it. It didn't take us by surprise. You know, and yet, whatever the way the human attitude processed the coming out of the first wave accelerated the second wave. And suddenly so many things that had started humming again. You know, I know in the UK, the government did a lot to encourage people to go to restaurants, you know, paying a proportion of their bill and, you know, all that stuff. And voila, complete lockdown. So if you were only in the space of alignment, that would be, you know, there's a heaviness to it. Whatever that takes you out of alignment lands like a big lead weight, and you are just completely stopped in your tracks. It's like going out of alignment is waiting to happen when you're in alignment. So the faster you switch into flow, where you have a lightness of being, and I do know several people that are in that space. You know, certainly in Germany, I have my family there, and they do practice a lot of this work. So yes, there is complete lockdown. Okay, not a lot has changed. Well, it has in the environment, but internally there's a lightness of being. So the outside changes do not take lightness of being away that easily. You have to have some heaviness in you to suddenly be burdened very fast. You know, the first time, so you know, if you're already feeling weighed down, you add another another weight to it, you start feeling burdened. But if you don't have any weight at all, you're in that lightness of being, and somebody adds a bit of weight. You'll either brush it off, or it'll take a lot of time to continually accumulate that for you to actually reach a state where you feel burdened. Now, how do you get into flow? Flow and a lightness of being is very much a function of cellular memory. Often we are not comfortable in the feeling of lightness of being. It feels, sometimes the words we use, it feels flippant. It feels too lightweight. It feels exquisite, but then people look at you differently. Lightness of being is all about being in touch with your own rhythm. And what supports you to get into a lightness of being is connecting to the rhythm of you. And that comes from music, that comes from dance, that comes from, nature walks, forest showers, I call them, or even just being close to trees. And really what you're doing there, whenever you are in nature of any kind, what is it that brings about a lightness of being is nature is always true to its nature. And it is anchored in it. So it is okay. There's a vibe of okayness. So when you go and do a walk in a forest and you experience the forest showers, it is the showers of okayness. And that supports you to be and land in your lightness of being. And then you add to it music, you add to it dance, you add to it, I call it beyond meditation, which connects you to the innate vibe of being human, which is love. And you start amplifying. And amplification occurs, and literally in that amplification, any blocks that are there automatically get removed. So it's a little bit like if there was a pipe that was going to carry water and that pipe was coated, one way of cleaning that pipe could be to send a very strong gush of water that will help break away stuff that might be clogging the pipe. Or there may be adding to this gush of water that's going to run through the pipe, adding to it something that decalcifies, for example. So the vibe of okayness is that. It's the decalcification agent, if you like. And then turning the volume up by connecting to music and dance and walks. Just noticing and being present to the rhythm of you, and then noticing and being present to experiencing the rhythm of you, rather than being attached to having somebody else out there experience you. What if you experienced you? That's the secret to flow. Nothing outside of us can get us out of our flow, and nothing outside of us can get us into our flow. If you feel that there is something outside that is having that effect, you're in alignment stage, which is also good. And it's time to step up and get into flow. Flow comes from within, and the access that makes it available to you in a regenerative way is is actually just simply being in that space. The lightness of being. Now, oh, that is great. Experiencing that lightness of being is great. Then we go into the next level. The next level is coherence. So coherence, flow you experience it as a bodily state. You know, we talk about full spectrum well-being. You've heard me talk about full spectrum well-being, where you're firing on all cylinders: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and environmental. Alignment is physical and mental. Flow is physical, mental, and emotional. The environment helps you in that. Social is how you show up, so that social benefits from you being in flow. Coherence is plugging into the spirit of you. Coherence is the expression of the spiritedness of you. You become stationed in spirit. That is inspiration. Being stationed in spirit. When you come from a space of that experience of being stationed in spirit, you are plugged into your knowing. So alignment is mental. You do alignment, experience the adrenaline rush, feels good. You get into flow, you experience a lightness of being. You get into coherence. And coherence is plugging into your knowing. It's coming from your knowing. And when you are plugged into your inner knowing, even when you are in the realm of you don't know, what you do know is you are plugged into your knowing. There's an inner knowingness that's going to guide you. There is a whole session that we have done when we did the navigating the 7 seas. Coherence was the last of the seas that we navigated through. Practical tools to get into coherence are in that particular section. And we will share with you a link to the YouTube of that particular session. So I don't need to go into the practical implementation to get to coherence. I want you to get to know and experience what that feels like. So you can already imagine, alignment is one thing. It feels good. Lots of energy, life force, all of that is there. But then if you're there for too long, any of these, when alignment overstays its welcome, anything that is mental, stops at mental, has the risk of overstaying its welcome. It's only when you get into a full spectrum space, there is no overstaying, because everything is a perfect dance. And it literally feels like, the tango when it needs to. It feels like the waltz when it needs to. It feels like the ecstatic expression of your rhythm when that is what is called for. When full spectrum is in operation. So alignment gives you that energy, flow, gets you into a rhythm of you, and you feel that lightness of being. You literally start opening up, and then you rise and land in coherence. You're plugged into the spirit of you. And you operate completely from a space of knowing. People often say to me, the gifts that have opened up for me are like I have a gift of seeing. I just see, and really what I see is, everything is a vibrational construct. Vibrations are frequencies. And when you have a vibrational frequency, like literally, the computer that you're looking at is different parts of the computer are vibrating with different frequencies. So to me, it is just as alive as I am, or as a tree is. And when you are in the space of coherence and coming from a knowing, you're really operating at that vibrational frequency level. You see all of that just as easily as I see. And it's your inner knowing that gives you the answers to all the questions that you have. And all of that can be achieved by everyone. What is called for, what can be of benefit, is having a guide who can help direct you on how to apply these newfound gifts that you already have. So how do you know that you are in coherence? How do you know that you're in coherence? Is literally minute by minute, moment by moment, you know. It's like you come from a space of knowing, and you can practice it. You can practice it when you're making choices. Okay, do I drink water? Do I have juice? It'll be instant. And then you can, even try it out with others, someone that you're spending time with. And you can say, okay, is this person going to choose this or this? And your knowing will tell you. And I know, Catherine, you've done it, so often. And we've all had experiences of that. And that's when you know that you're coherent. Now, here's the thing about coherence. Coherence is complete, whole and complete. When you're in coherence, you are in coherence at a cellular level, you're in coherence at a nanocellular level, which is your RNA, DNA level, right? You're not, so just thinking that you're in coherence in one aspect, but not in others. No. You're still in the flow realm. When you're coherent, you're just coherent. It is so powerful. We don't get these anymore. But this coherence experience is so powerful that if you had a Polaroid camera, do you remember those cameras that we used to take a photograph and out would come that the photograph straight away from the camera? They are the ones that really capture coherence. It's bizarre, but they do. And you will see when someone is coherent. A friend of mine actually wrote a book called Super Coherence. And she used a whole series of photographs of people before and after they achieved coherence. And she had a particular device that she used to bring that about. I'm saying, and we are now at a time where one of the foundational commandments is supporting us to switch from alignment to flow to coherence. You actually need no device. You can just land in it yourself. And so literally when you take a photograph and someone is out of coherence, they're a little bit fuzzy. And the moment they are in coherence, you take a photograph, they are completely clear. Because every aspect, you're coherent in everything that makes up your presence, your field. The ultimate, like the pinnacle of coherence, is what I call as being in zero field. And there's a lot that has been written about zero field online, so I don't need to go there. You can all research and see what it's like being in zero field. The interesting thing here is you don't experience the adrenaline rush that you do when you're in alignment. You just are. You don't experience the lightness of being that you did when you're in flow. You just are. It's as if you get into your knowing where you just know you can have whatever it is that you want when you want it. I want to experience an adrenaline rush. I can. And you find yourself being surprised at what you manage to accomplish. It feels like, you spend the whole day just, wallowing around. And by the end of the day, you've accomplished what you had planned to achieve in that whole week. It's as if your own laser focus becomes so sharp that you only land up focusing your attention on that which is going to shift and make progress in line with your intention. That's what becomes available to you in coherence. Now you can imagine a family where everyone is operating in coherence. What a powerful group of co-creators you become. Imagine a team in business that is operating from coherence. Literally everything becomes a fuel. And literally coherence is like the rocket fuel of rocket fuels, where your intention and your desires are fulfilled. And you meet your rockets of desires almost as fast as you put them out there. Coherence only occurs when full spectrum well-being is there. Lightness of being, which is flow, gets you quite far. But without that connection to the spirit of you, that is what I mean by spiritual. Everything else, meditation and all of that are means to you becoming stationed in your own spirit. You truly are the one that you have been waiting for. And really what coherence enables is that knowing that I have what it takes, always. What I say goes. And that occurs because I choose to. What occurs because I choose to. And now with that knowing, you can literally create infinite gains for yourself. And because we are all in this world where at a commandment level, we have, thriving instinct that counts, then the risk of narcissistic tendencies driving our choices, even if that occurs, whatever you choose literally fizzles away. Complete lockdown in Europe again. I'm just using that as an example of how, like, literally everything was going well. Industries had started, surfacing and gone. We are so blessed to be alive at this time. To actually see each of these commandments, they are not a theory. They are playing out, literally moment by moment, they're playing out. So it's such a fabulous practice ground that is becoming more and more and more perfected. So what I'm going to do now, we're not going to have any questions today. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you on a journey. And this journey is going to reawaken cellular memories. And the cellular memories will be reawakened, so you develop a sense of what it feels like being in alignment, what it feels like when you make that switch from alignment to flow, and what it feels like what the experience is when you land in coherence. So at a cellular memory, that awakening will take place. And then you can take practical steps to support you. At a cellular level, you will know, your body will be the indicator. And you can stay on track. Okay, so we will not have questions today. So get yourself to be in a comfortable space. Make sure that your back is supported. This is a journey that you don't do if you're driving. So if you are driving, just make sure that you park yourself safely, do the journey, give yourself another 5 minutes or so of staying in that state of coherence before you start driving again. And you may just trance out while I'm doing this journey. And if you do, it's okay. We will complete. And I will log out of the meeting room and you come out whenever you're ready to come out of it. Okay, so get yourself to be comfortable. And this is a journey that I would not interrupt with a sip of water or anything. So if you want to have a sip of water, go ahead and do that. If you need to use the bathroom, you do that. If you're only talking about 15, 17 minutes. Okay, so just imagine that the base of your spine is connected to the core of the earth. If you're sitting on a chair and your feet are on the floor, then imagine the middle of your feet are connected to the core of the earth. Drop your hands on either side. Have your palms facing forward. Stretch your fingers a little. Imagine the tips of your fingers are also connected to the core of the earth. All of these connections to the core of the earth are done with the golden cord. This golden cord actually has a frequency of the precious metal gold. Each one of you energetically is being wrapped in this beautiful blanket. And it's a blanket made up of light and monochromatic colors. The monochromatic colors that are being presented to each one of you are this very soft green, sort of like the tunic that I'm wearing, and baby pink. And this blanket has got a sheer look. So it's got quite a lot of silver stuff, silver light that is going through it. And you're wrapped in it. And just the wrapping of this, as you receive the warmth and the comfort of this blanket, that immediately activates something. And what it activates within you is a clearing. And you start clearing and shedding anything that is no longer in service of your highest good. You start releasing from your body anchors, hooks, and shackles that may be holding on to an old way in which you did things. A way of the past that drove you in how you made your choices and decisions. You're literally releasing the attachment to that. And in your releasing the attachment to that, and that release is taking place at an emotional level. That emotional release is literally disintegrating the presence of these pockets of ways of the past that no longer serve you. Normally, you go through scanning your body from the top of your crown to the base of your feet. And in that conscious scanning, you release any energies that no longer serve you. You can go ahead and do that. And by wrapping you in this beautiful blanket of soft green and baby pink in a silver light, we are already making that happen. You just are to be. Focus your attention on your breath. And with every breath you take, you breathe in love, kindness, and compassion into your heart. And you breathe out gratitude and peace. Breathe in love, kindness, and compassion into your heart. And you breathe out gratitude and peace. You breathe in love, kindness, and compassion into your heart. And you breathe out gratitude and peace. Alignment. Alignment as a feeling actually occurs. It originates in your kidneys. Your kidneys are the first ones to know when you are out of alignment. And your urethra, the duct through which the urine comes out, automatically is impacted by that knowledge. So we're going to work on the cellular memories and the nanocellular memories in a full spectrum way. So I'm going to talk about the physical organ where this particular feeling originates, and we will reawaken the experience, the emotional experience of this feeling in that organ. And through that organ, it will spread across your entire body. So your kidneys is where the alignment first originates. And hence, that adrenaline rush. And the journey I'm taking you on is to receive the power of that alignment, including the vitality that comes from the adrenaline rush. And allow yourself to slide into flow. So you're first experiencing the experience of your kidneys and your adrenals, returning to their originating intent. anything at all that comes in the way of that no longer serves you, is being released out of your body. And you will feel a wave of vitality just go through your entire body. You may experience some saliva building in your mouth. You may experience a tingling in your biceps. You may experience some form of twitching in your gums. And that feeling that you have when you feel infatuated with something. Allow yourself to smile. And in your smile, you're connecting to the rhythm of alignment. Allowing your source, allowing your cells to experience what it feels like being in alignment. Just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Breathe in from the tailbone, up your spine, into your heart, and breathe out from your heart. Breath is going in and out of your nose. A cellular memory of what it feels like being in alignment is anchored. We are now going to switch. We're going to switch into the lightness of being. This lightness of being, which is the flow experience, originates in your diverticular vein, which is the vein that is just in your calf muscle area. It is connected directly to the heart. So you're experiencing right now an opening of your heart. The heart itself just is. That vibrational opening of the heart puts you in a space of feeling a deep comfort with remaining connected to what's real for you. It's plugging you into the core strength of vulnerability. You're feeling a tingling in your legs. Your nose may be twitching a little. And it feels as if your breath has become deeper and lighter. You experience a tug at the back of your crown as if your spine is being lifted up and you're standing tall. Your vertebra being recalibrated. The discs in between slotting back into place. You feel like you're just experiencing being held by the most beautiful hammock. And this is the hammock of your nerves, your nervous system. And as you feel held from behind, feels like this beautiful experience that you had. when you were in the womb, completely experiencing flow with so much flowing all around you. It's as if you are holding yourself like you would with deep love and affection hold a newborn baby. And you notice yourself smile again. And you experience the smile being returned. And it's being returned by every cell that makes up your field. You allow yourself to receive the smile. Your heart's feeling even more open. There's a slight sway in your body. It feels like the breeze is flowing perfectly. The temperature is exact as it's meant to be. You are in flow. You're now being showered by nature. Your cells are opening up. They're opening up, taking the cue from the heart. And as the cells open up, they allow themselves to receive. They allow themselves to receive the vibe of okayness. Every cell starts to release, relinquish, remove with complete willingness any vibrations, any energies, yours or otherwise, that no longer serve you. And as that release occurs, the cells start to fill up with your illumination. It is your inner light that is filling up the cells. And it's as if there is this beautiful flow of your own inner light, and it is slightly lilac purple. It's your own inner light, which is lilac and purple. That's emanating from within you, and it's mixing with this beautiful blanket, silver blanket, with soft green and soft pink. And all of these together connect you to your inner knowing, which is the vibe of coherence. Coherence is knowing. Coherence originates from that part of your body where the small intestine joins the large intestine. And as you're plugging into coherence, literally the vibe of coherence is traveling all the way through your colon. Your colon is the third brain. This is your large intestine. This is your third brain that is experiencing and logging in and is present in the vibe of coherence. Your inner knowing is invoked, activated, anchored, and the moment it is anchored, it starts to get amplified. And the amplification light that is emanating from your navel, your sacral chakra, it's an orange light. It's an orange light that is a warm light, very powerful in a healing of anything that takes you out of coherence, is taking place, and this orange light is spreading across. You can even spread your arms on either side if you like, and stretch your fingers a little. You're still being tugged at the back of your crown. You're standing tall, or you're like sitting tall, stationed, powerfully grounded. Take your hands up, bring them down, put them over your thighs, palms facing upwards. The cellular memory of coherence has been initiated. You're now awakening to it. And at this cellular memory awakening is what's going to get the activation of the nanocellular level to take place. So your DNA, RNA level coherence will get reawakened. That'll take a few days. For some, it may even take a few years. The journey has begun. We are going to anchor all of this in a whole brain state. And we're going to do that with the 946 breath. And in doing so, you're aligning your mind brain, your heart brain, and your gut brain. And the moment we finish the 946 breath, you experience the lighting of a beautiful lamp in your heart. It is a lamp that I call a lamp of miracles that invokes and activates your own miracle lamps. You experience the state of whole and complete. Breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your hands in front of your throat, rub them against each other, put them over your eyes, open your eyes, and then take them to the top of your head, the back of your head, down your neck, down your shoulders. Do an energy sweep and blow. Allow yourself to recalibrate. If you are feeling up to it, then please do share your completion word in the chat, and we will anchor the vibrational qualities of these words. Thank you. Deepening wholeness, loving gratitude, extraordinary experience. Thank you, dear one. Thank you. Completely coherent. It's quite beautiful. Lovely. Peace. Allow yourself to just be in this space for at least 5 minutes or so before you get on with the rest of your evening and the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Exquisite as always. Indeed. Inner awareness, calm and anchored, expansive, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.